Hello everyone. This is just another Quanda video because I hit 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube recently, which is fairly neat. I like it when we hit these milestones generally because I like making these Quanda videos, to be honest, so thank you to everyone who subscribed and supported the channel. Here's Stu. What's the next big milestone after this? Here's to 50 million subscribers. How about that? And let's just get right into it. Okay, Haseen, have you ever tried vanilla Coke? Yes, I have, starting with that question. I have, starting with that question. I did to do any editing on the order of these questions. They read just how we pasted them into the text document here. So yes, I have tried vanilla Coke. I'm not going to tell you what I thought of vanilla Coke, because that wasn't part of the question. So okay, on to the next one. When are we getting our annual CineMasons video for 2018? Oh man, those things, do I really have to do another one of those? I don't want to. I hate them. It involve watching another year worth of CineMasons videos. I don't know. People seem to like them, though possibly around December. I around the end of the year if it happens, which right now it probably won't. What thing have you done so far that you're most proud of? I'll assume you just mean on YouTube here. And it's the Charlotta's Villa video. I think that's Suwoni spent the most time on, and that I think came out the best, to be honest. So yeah, that one. What's the ideal length for audio takes, or do you try to get it all over within one go? Well, I answered this in another video, but I tend to record all of my audio in a single go just because I'm not very good at it, and if I recorded it at different times, it would sound different. As I've never been able to crack that problem really, even in an identical audio setup. My audio seems to sound different, so I just do it all in one go, so there's no noticeable cut. So now I try to get the script completely 100 finished before I start recording it. So, oh, different way. I, 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 no, you so no, do you do you do you do oh do so do Can you hear those banging upstairs? I'm not gonna cut that out today. Yeah, there's another one. It sits that all the time, so on me, like regular videos where I don't want this to have just random knocks in the background. I have toe tree and record sentences in between those knocks. That's hellish. And they seem to increase when I start recording as well. I think me upstairs neighbors don't. They like me very much and wait for me to this right this the this that I that they are listen the well well then there then valley then them then lion the leader the lion the lion the lion the they are you see the fellow, What are your thoughts on the prequel trilogy? Do you like them, hate them, or have mixed feelings about them? I guess I'd fall under the mixed category here. I don't think they re particularly good movies, however. They re not as bad as the internet makes out, and some of the things in there are quite interesting, like I don't know. I'm one of those people who's like, okay, I am happier that the prequels exist than sort of free boring movies that just tried to copy the success of the original trilogy by making something like identical but without the impact, so I'm happy, yeah. I'm happy the prequels exist, and I like the Gungans. I think the Gungans are cool, and I like the pod race as well. I think the pod race is a genuinely good action scene, so yeah. So how do you deal with parasocial relationships, and then in brackets, in which you are not the persona? So I guess this is me being a fan of someone else. Then I think you just need to respect boundaries really and keep a few things in mind, like I have creators on YouTube. I really like I have Twitch streamers. I really like, but you have to be. Well, this is a loaded question, isn't it? I don't often, Actually, this tees into the previous question a little, which is odd, because I didn't intend for it to at all, but yeah, what you re-seeing there is an act if I make a responsive video the first time and watch. It's not that I am suddenly not angry about racism or whatever else I'm talking about, it's that I've decided that that is the best way to present me arguments, so it's a fiction basically. I'm more often a very angry and moody person, to be honest. Next question. Why are anti-feminist, anti-Joe beliefs so popular? I got asked this a few times in various forms, and mainly it's because they re easy. It's very simple to look at sort of complicated social, political, economic problems and then just blame all of that on a group of other people who are bad. It's sort of a shortcut into feeling superior to other people and all types of people, though it's just lazy thinking basically. Next question. I really want to make video game reviews and political essays like you and Bombergoy, but I'm terrified. No one will like me. Well, that certainly has to stop a Bombergoy. So I'd say just go ahead. That's not very fair. I'd say if you want to do those things, then you should don't let the fear of not being popular stop you, because you want to be. You definitely want to be when you start out. I made videos for years, as I've mentioned before, with basically no audience at all. A single or double-digit audience for a very long time before like any of me videos broke 1,000 views. It was like 2 years or something like that, but it was still fun. It was still an interesting way to spend me time, and I learned a lot doing that. That has helped me out now. So yeah, go ahead. Give it a go. Next question. What are your predictions for the future of the Democrats? Will they move to the left? Will they be surpassed by a more left-wing party? Will they continue to capitulate to Republicans and be absolutely useless? That's from Cameron. There's sort of a mix of those. I think Democrats, as in the party membership and people who vote for the Democrats, will probably move further left. I think the party establishment will continue to capitulate to Republicans and be absolutely useless. I mean, the way they are going now, they are going to lose the next presidential election like how they are right now. They would already to the do the veil as a significant shift to the policy hero Brazil 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 Peo the Peo to Malady Mokran Peo Zo Peo Pizio Sell Peo 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 Pizio Peo Peo Pizio Peo Dio Del Peo Dio Peo well to deal oh zero do how do how do you deal how do how do how do deal Hello, that's the leaves. That's the busy leaf. That's the leaf. Baby, baby, doesn't pop. Baby, doesn't they already the seven down in line. They see the high. They will away. The vision, the vision, the vision, the vision, the vision, sentinel, they will heal you. They will heal you. They will heal you. Sentinel, sentinel, they will see the day. The big of that. They will seventy. The lava. The way. The sentinel lava. The physique. The view of the lava. The day. The day be for their life is there. The very suddenly they busy. The they review them, they review the seasons, the all say the do, they review the bad, the land, they review the lead they review, the real bad they believe, the all the day, the believe the dead, so no call, the view to do well, those review, those review, they review. Say down calmly, they review, the you. So they run on that instead they say, are we going to work to make healthcare better for everyone you like, but how? What are you actually going to do like we going to make it really good non-specifically, that's how I do the, well, even I don't know the Democrats are just rubbish as in the party establishment there's plenty of local level Democrats who are brilliant and working really hard and doing everything right. But it feels like if they want to get anything done anytime soon they just gonna have to go through the party leadership somehow. I don't know how they are gonna do that, but that should be on the agenda of more left-leaning Democrats now. It's okay. How do we get these people out of the party? How do we go around them? Next question. Do you know how artists eventually begin to regret old works that they made? Does that happen to you, and how long does it take to kick in if it does? About 45 seconds usually, but yes, I've got old videos of it taken down because Anime, Biomime, 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 Bio you deu pau, bio te saveu, bio voy, bio deu zi veio, bio thou, bio we do thou, bio deu, bio thou, bio de deu, bio we deu, bio lutu, bio Deo, baby, bio, bio, teo, bio, bad, to zeal, deo, to do, de, va, do, deal, do, deal, bio, 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 is there any possible way for you to make more videos faster? Yes, I could do vanilla, but I haven't done being for a read. I said, although line, I am of I pardon law, visually, I am alive, alive, but I know you will know. I'm alive, although further online, then I am the same tail on the night, the lion, I don't title, I live, on the village, I am alive, online, this day, online, it's a do, I am die. I am I am the lion, so on the lion, I am on the lion, who do totally deserve, on really do lion, telling you to oh the lion, oh, on I will do I am if I did that, it would probably be around Christmas this year, I think. I might go over to monthly. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. And do you have any plans to change your format and introduce more visuals? Not really. I wanted to initially, but similar to the last question, this seems to be fairly popular. What am I doing right now? A lot of people have messaged me to say they to so well, it is Bible name, that. Why would we serve well, wait, well, do. Why to do, follow away, blessed, what we do, will, why would serve well, well, what lose, well, so, well, we do see you will, what we buy, where we do some, what will you be away, so waffly, 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 mom, there, well, so there, oh yeah, oh yeah, what is you do? Nail, 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 why are so many right-wingers into Warhammer? Well, because it's a bunch of militaristic fascist states just clashing into each other constantly, and they love all that shit basically. I think Warhammer doesn't have like everything's horrible in Warhammer. There's no faction you can point to and say they re the good guys, you know. They re the people who are trying to get it done. Well, like everyone is just a different flavor of horrible, so there's no sort of space within the universe to sort of openly criticize these like horrible societies. Next question. Why aren't conservatives funny? And it's interesting this it's all. Yeah, well, it's interesting that this is of course. I mean, lots of people do think conservatives are funny for whatever reason, but with comedy you need both the person that like attempting to be funny and you need the audience as well. Like you need to consider their reaction and their understanding and what they bringing to it. No one can be funny in a vacuum without an audience really playing to. Conservative audiences, you have much less material and fewer places you can go because if you know very loose characterizations of liberal and conservative thought. Conservatives favor tradition, things staying the same. They don't like change. They like everyone being one way and type of thing, and that just sort of naturally restricts your available material because you can't go outside that relatively narrow world view, whereas on the left you have a lot more spaces you can go basically also. And again, this is just me opinion. Comedy works best when you punching up, and conservatives really don't punching up at all. Next question. How's Brexit treating you? Well, it's an absolute disaster, isn't it? I don't think there's anyone who thinks it's going well. Yeah, it's terrible. I thought about stockpiling food the other day, imagining that like in the cook like ostensibly a first world developed wealthy nation and thinking about stockpiling food for an upcoming disaster. Next question. What do you think of Jeremy Corbyn? I don't know yet. On the one hand, I really like Corbyn but well, he's a left-winger, isn't he? Which is great. It's excellent to have an actual leftist at the head of the Labour Party, which should you imagine it be a requirement to be the head of the again ostensibly left-wing Labour Party, but it's not so. It's a very good that he's in there. I hope he is able to transform the party to be more in line with like its original intent than what Tony Blair and co turned it into. Now the reason I am unsure about Corbyn is I'm not sure what he's going to do with regards to the whole Brexit disaster. I was completely not on board with how Labour were handling the whole Brexit thing until fairly recently. I've come around on it, but see, what I wanted them to do was to immediately come out guns blazing trying to shut it down, offering a second referendum, doing everything in their power to stop it, and seeing them just sit on the sidelines was a bit frustrating, but I've changed me mind now. I feel like Brexit is such a disaster, and so terrible, that it sort of needs to land squarely on the Tories, like that it needs to be marked down in the history books as the Tories did this and it was a complete disaster. I feel like giving them an out, like if Corbyn came out tomorrow and said we'll do a second referendum on EV very risky because a lot of Labour vote are going so well. They was perfect until Labour came along and ruined the Secondly, the Tories would immediately pivot from and fight well, you, zell, well, you go, well, 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 we so zero, we zero, but we zero. They would say Labour are backstabbers hurting our country at this crucial point in the negotiations, which were going wonderfully, so now I'm sort of on board with Labour just sitting on their hands and saying, well, get on with it however. That's introduced like an element of uncertainty now, like we're not sure what Corbyn would do if he was just handed power tomorrow, so it makes it kind. Listen, well, it's holy, well, I wait, so well, what in the plan? What is where were you in? Where were you? Where that? Where were where is it? Where were what did you do? Where we? Where we? Well, the sir, where is it? Where were you in? To see, color view. Alright, probably so. Private, I the certain I don't know. Probably so to go. Where the super, where the super, private. Where do you go to lose you, Quanto, probably you. Oh, probably you will. Probably you do so. Oh, Kyle. I will be on. Oh, shoot. Shoot. While you do, while you will how has YouTube fame affected your opinion of yourself? It hasn't really, and wouldn't. I'm not YouTube famous, am I? Don't think so. I am like on 600th of a PewDiePie like it's. It's all relative, and because I don't often appear in videos or on camera like even when I'm streaming like it's a rare thing. I don't to get recognized, so it's not really affected me opinion of myself all that much, at least I hope it hasn't. It's hard to tell when these things are happening to you. Well, only thing we noticed with a lot of the anti-feminist YouTubers that get quite big, they start thinking that they are geniuses just because they have thousands of people telling them that they read geniuses all the time. So I always have to remind, wait a minute, that's player, 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 fantasy, player, the zeal, veal, the, veal, bio, the, bio leaves, the, whale, bio, 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 zero, bio, bio, Oh, I am like Dad. You don't know what you re talking about. I'm actually complete rubbish. Next question. Hey Shaun, just for your 100 and a video who air some of your favorite YouTube channels. Always looking for new folks to watch. Thanks. That's from Nick Spheres there. Well, one particular channel that I'd like to give a big shout out to is a Nick's Fears. I don't know if you've heard of them, question asker, but they make very good videos about movies. I'll put a link in the description. So everyone should head over there and subscribe. It's absolutely criminal that me channel is at 100 subscribers before Nick's Fears us, so go and correct that injustice. Please everyone. As for other YouTube channels, I mentioned Shannon Strachey on Strachey Movies earlier. I hope I'm pronouncing your surname okay there, Shannon. Mainly you could just look at me subscription list on YouTube. I think that's available to be seen. If it's not, it's not. I think it is though. Besides all the other big leftist YouTubers, which I imagine most people know. You know, if you watch me, you know ContraPoints, you know Bombergoe, probably things that I just watch personally in me own time. I always feel weird giving a plug to like a Watch Pan and Co 2012 Smario videos, the whole bunch, but that's cause I just find that really interesting, and wouldn't do other people like watching that stuff. I don't know. Well, they make very good videos about Mario. Vixie 4. I like Novel 87's Warcraft lore videos because I actually care about the lore of World of Warcraft. If you can believe it, I am one of the 4 people I think none of who work at Blizzard who actually care about the law. So, yeah, just check me subscription list basically if it's available. If not, I should do like I'll do like a Twitter thread. I should. I have I have you. I think a really good remind me to do that if I don't. That like within a day off this video being posted, someone just poked me on Twitter, and I'll do it. I'm using me audience like you'd use Siri or something. Next question. Have you explored your gender identity much? Any interesting findings? Yes and no. Yes. I thought about gender a lot. I have trans poles. You know, I have non-binary poles, gay poles, and so on, so it's something I talk about and think about a fair amount, but personally I'm comfortable with how I am seen to be, yeah, which I've always considered myself quite lucky. What should I say that? I don't know. I feel bad. I feel like it's giving into a world that sort of oppresses minorities to say, oh, I'm glad I'm not a minority because I wouldn't want to deal the like oppression and a shoals making me feel bad all the time. I guess I need to qualify that I feel glad and I'm not because I wouldn't want to deal with the discrimination and not because I think there's anything inherently bad about identifying as any of those things. There we go. I figured that out. Live there we go. Live for process. Every next question you've mentioned before, people who are a bit overbearing in your fan base who demand you denounce they saw that person or speak on a certain issue. Is there any particular way you deal with that now? If I'd edited these into a proper list, I would have put this early with the parasocial relationships one, but yes, something I've struggled with is people seeing the brand instead of you. Know me as a person, as in if I do, that there's by there's speak about one particular issue. By people were advocating by the side view by the by when by the by the by the side view by a way to by we to the view by the view by the something by the by the by the by way by the view and by the view and the every review, fire reviewing, fire review, dealing, having the sun, fire wearing disease, so fire review, so review, fire review, the zoo, see the so fire the viewing, fire review, fire review, so I decided why would you do why we will do why we why we will do why we do it I will do it why will do why will do you why will do why will you do you I was feeling very down and about something in me personal life, a family issue, and didn't really feel like getting into a big argument with someone on Twitter and that can suck. It's like you done to get days off from it, and in a sense die the will see be with the boo zoo very boo you well. But we were we be so you feel well zoo she will view. But you well zoo shoes you will was observed was other well do well so well what do we do is so deal we so we prove so what we will we lose so what will we do see we do whether those so good some do shoes they will why all you so well you why will we go why are you so You know people are free to decide they don't like me, yeah. Next question, what you used to organize or plan video research, is it just a text document or what? Usually I just use a text document occasionally if I have anything that I'd like anyone else to check out for me use, like a Google Drive to just upload it. When I made the Charlottesville video I had to print out a whole bunch of maps and notes to like keep it all organized. So my room looked a bit like scene from The Wire or something. You know, a whole bunch of maps with notes and little sticky notes stuck all over them. That was fun, you know. I hope we never have to make another video about that topic, but I like the process of actually putting the video together. Next question. How is your vegetarian diet going? It was going well until a couple of days ago, where Ivy temporarily put it on hold. I need to take another run at it in a little while. I decided to go vegetarian a few months ago and did so successfully. I didn't eat any meat for like months apart from me cheese at once with a fish. Sounds weird. I never got cravings for meat at all, even though it was like mainly what I ate until then, except for fish. I got fish cravings and I don't even particularly like fish very much. So that was interesting. But I didn't put enough preparation into thinking about how to go vegetarian. So instead of coming up with vegetarian meals and stuff to fill in for the meat I was cutting out, I just ate more of the non-meat things that I like that were in my diet, which is too good for you. Really. So Evie been feeling not too great on the old vegetarian diet, and so Evie had to put a pin in it for now, and me on eating meat again, but me goal is to go vegetarian and stick with it. So I'm going to spend a little while experimenting with different food and trying to come up with it like a menu of foods that I can eat from that sort of ensures that I like actually nutritionally get everything that I need. I'm gonna try and make it a process instead of just like a immediate thing. You know, next question. Why is it so hot? I am dying. I feel me melted brain leaking out my ears, and me too. I mean, especially when I'm recording audio right now. So I can't have me fan on because it sounds like this, and I can't have the window open because then you can hear everything that's happening outside. So I'm gonna move somewhere else, and a big part of me deciding where to move is somewhere where it's colder than it is here because I really like the cold. I don't like heat at all. It makes me feel terrible, and it's just hot all the time now. It was a heat wave a while ago, and now it's just like, oh, this is just the weather in the country now. It's terrible, and it's hot everywhere else. There's a heat wave in Japan right now. There's some horrible fire and grease. God, the world's burning. It's this dreadful. Next question. How do you go about refuting people who make their arguments by simply pointing out a true fact while obviously insinuating some bad political opinion with the fact, so folks who are very coy about their true beliefs and sort of talk around it? I said that the DCCC said this Pivot, bio, revisit, bio, 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 wallet, pivot, bio, bio, revisit, bio, sound, pivot, bio, pivot, bio, bio, pivot, secret, pivot, severe, bio, 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 power the power the power power the well power the well power the power power the sim power the sim the sim power the bio power the call power the sim power the power the power the power they re-weekend inferior. You know, next question. I notice that sometimes in your responsive videos you play a lot of clips from the source and other times, like in recent videos, you don't. You'd be quoting from them. Do you ever have misgivings about including clips of people saying slurs and hateful things and the impact it might have on your audience? Yes. But something this again, right now, I don't agree. I think that if we start making assumptions about the croaking such as it's tied to mating behavior, then the croaking would actually increase. If it was a male-female pair, it would be more likely to occur than if it were two males, because they wouldn't be croaking at each other. It wouldn't be two-thirds, it would actually be some other value. The problem here is that if you make the assumption that two male frogs are not more likely than one male frog to make a croak over a given period, they, why? Because it's if on you hear one frog hook, then you know that the other one is a female. If you say that two male frogs will croak around other male frogs, but not twice as likely, then you have to account for why the fact that only one would croak, and there just isn't. The information in the riddle, basically, it's not a good riddle, it's explained poorly. I was right. The riddle was wrong. You all gonna have to wait for the inevitable Bomberg video about the frog riddle that he's been threatening to make for a while. What's your favorite biscuit? I am partial to some ginger nuts. Actually, next question. What's your computer setup, poopewits? Can you hear that plane? I live right next to the airport. It's terrible. I have a 1080 Ti i7 8716 gigs of RAM and a bunch of solid-state hard drives, which is neat. I have a fairly good computer on the whole. I need it for streaming, to be honest. Streaming's difficult. It really taxes everything. I feel like there needs to be some sort of they would need to make it good. I was thinking they should sell like I don't know who they are either. They should sell like a streaming rig specifically designed to stream games instead of sort of forcing to do the rendering of the game and the streaming of the game at the same time. The next question is, who is the best fictional detective? And my question is, why is this a question? Because does obviously Columbo, they far and away the bear, they's fiction, they zeal, they see, they zia, they see, they 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 share, they 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 see, they 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 just you these lose the little the you busy views you down you the show you do you show go do you do oh you oh no do show do show why do you do why do you well, he's brilliant. The next question is, are you planning on doing more videos like the problem with privatizing the railways? Yes, I am. I have a couple more of those plans, and I said at the start of the year that I'd like to make more videos like that, but things just keep getting in the way. They take quite a long time to research those ones. I'm going to make those videos, but it's just basically I've got one about schools in the works and then one about health. That's just like a skeleton plan for now, but the school one is pretty far along. I could do that like next month really if I wanted to. Maybe I will. I don't know. We learned not to make predictions about when me videos are gonna come out anymore because invariably something gets in the way. Oh, but they bio bio the do bear the do to do they bear bio pio you do pio 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 do well the pio will to go pio well pio 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 Pyrobel, Pyrobel, Pyro, Pyrolam, Rebel, Luju, Vero, Zero, Vero, Luju, Bell, Pyro, Bell, Zero, Poly, Vero, Zero, Vero, Pyro, Leo, Bio, Bell, Pyro, Pyro, Blue, Zero, Zero, Bell, I ask because I am from the upper class. My parents have given me many opportunities in life, which does not mean that I believe these opportunities view. I believe resisted the is was observed that this you bio well wherever you go, whether they, whether the view well, whether the view, whether the view sail, while the whether the view, while the view go, whether the view, whether the while we will view it, whether while we will, whether the view to view, whether the view, whether the view, while the lamb, whether the view there, while both the zero to feel is zero, we will out, while the food, while the will, while the zero, while we are, while we feel zero, while the zero will, while zero will, while the system, while the bill people zero, the is while the zero, whale, whether silly poo, where we partly poo, whether well, where we go, whether so, whether the zero, then people would be a lot more on board with it. For a lot of these sorts of issues, it's better to explain your full world view and how your opinion on the particular issue fits into it, rather than just saying, you know, I support abolishing inheritance, and that fits similarly with saying you want to abolish private property. I mean, if you just say that in isolation, a lot of people assume you mean you want to come to their house and steal their car and their pets and things like that, which obviously isn't how it works. So US, what I'm saying is we should push for the full package really. Hey scene, this is a pretty stupid question, but I plan to move to Vcodec at some point in my life soon. Would you advise against it? And you'll all have any suggestions for a cheap but good place to live? Well, okay, I would advise waiting for now and seeing how Brexit turns out. It's right now we re-looking at the quotes hard Brexit, which means the whole country is going to explode if you have to move here for whatever horrible reason. I would look at places in maybe Wales or Scotland and not England, and if you do have to live in England, I would probably suggest somewhere outside of London just because it's so expensive there. You know, either way, best of luck to you. You gonna need it. Next question. Do you tend to get more enjoyment from multiplayer systems-driven games where you spend many hours perfecting your play, or from games that take you through a story or adventure once and then you're redone with it? Well, I'm a very boring here and don't really have a preference. I like plenty of games that fall into both of those categories, and what I think makes the game good or bad in this regard is if it knows exactly what it is. And like the worst of both worlds, here is a game that should be a short story-driven thing but unnecessarily tax on a bunch of like customization, level up grindy nonsense in order to slow the whole game down and just pad the runtime so it can like either of these by this it's that by results by others it's by the zero they are the whale the the desire the zeal they are so civil the real by a way by a real, oh, by a way, way, the way real, I know you, sir, why, I see, So I guess what I am saying is I like good video games and not bad ones. That's me brave opinion for today. Next question. Is the voice you use in your videos your real voice? Mostly, guis I don't put on an accent or anything, but in most of me videos I am reading from a prepared script. I'm not in this one, which is why I'm umming and ahhing, and speaking slower than you might be used to hearing me. But mostly, yeah. I sound like this Earl. I suppose next question, who is Jen? And I still get asked this quite a lot. I took Jen's name off the YouTube channel and everything. I still get asked who Jen is like all the time, and it's so easy to find out, but people keep asking me it, so actually I'm gonna throw this one over to Jen. Hello, I am Jen. I am not a body pillow or a hand. I am Scene's friend. I am not in the YouTube videos anymore except for this one because nobody believes I am real. If you like me, you should watch our regular live streams on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Scene and Jen. Okay, so there we go. That was Jen. Why she chose to raid that out, like I forced her to at gunpoint, I don't know. So thanks for that, Jen. Yeah. Okay, folks. That's all for me today. Thanks a lot as always for watching and subscribing, all 100,000 of you. That is rather scary, isn't it? Yes, 100,000 people. Wall. Let's get to 1,000,000, and then I'll really be scared when we get to 1,000,000. Whoa, 10 times. So it took me like a couple years to get here, so it's gonna take me a couple of decades to get to 1,000,000, assuming like steady growth like it has been going. Whoa, so I'll be like 50. Let's see you. 57, 57, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, Pile, with high view, pile, 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 view, pile, high view, zoo, pile, 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 view, pile, 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 I view you, view you, view you, view you, view you, view you. While we was you, we learn, This is the conversations I have with myself off microphone. Okay, thanks a lot, folks. I'll see you next time.